Breakthrough in space tourism. Space Perspective joins EOS X Space for new launch. Reaching for the stars just got a boost, the game-changing acquisition in stratospheric tourism. Imagine witnessing the curvature of our Earth and the inky blackness of space without the hefty price tag of suborbital flights. This is the promise of stratospheric tourism, and it just took a giant leap forward. But here's where it gets interesting. In a move set to revive a pioneering project, Spanish aerospace company EOS X Space has acquired American startup Space Perspective, known for its innovative spaceship Neptune capsule. This strategic breakthrough, announced at the end of July, aims to not only preserve jobs in the U.S., but also propel manned stratospheric tourism into reality. A brief history of Space Perspective. Founded in 2018 by visionaries Jane Poynter and Tabor McCallum, Space Perspective made headlines with the successful launch of its Excelsior demonstrator to an altitude of approximately 30 kilometers in September 2024. With tickets priced at $125,000, the project showed immense promise. However, the company faced significant financial hurdles, leading to staff furloughs in January 2025 and the loss of its Florida base in April due to debt. A new chapter under EOS X Space. In a press release available at https:/miatechwatch.com/2025-0725, Strategic Breakthrough in the Space Race, EOS X Space secures a breakthrough in the U.S. market with the acquisition of its main competitor Space, cementing its position as the third globe. EOS X Space assured the public that Space Perspective would maintain complete autonomy under American leadership. This merger of former competitors is poised to make stratospheric manned tourism a tangible reality. Ambitious plans include the establishment of a spaceport at the iconic Kennedy Space Center in Florida and an R&D hub in Silicon Valley, culminating in the relocation of EOS X Space's global headquarters to the U.S. The environmental and economic advantage. Stratospheric balloons offer a more environmentally friendly and potentially cost-effective alternative to the suborbital flights provided by Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic. The gentle, 6-hour ascent allows passengers to marvel at the Earth's curvature and the vastness of space without the intense G-forces associated with traditional space travel. As production scales up, ticket prices are expected to decrease, making space tourism more accessible. The science behind stratospheric flights. Reaching altitudes of 30 to 35 kilometers, these flights replicate conditions similar to those in space, with 99% of the Earth's water vapor remaining below this threshold, minimizing atmospheric disturbance. The capsules are designed to carry an array of scientific instruments, including telescopes, spectrometers, and experimental equipment for astronomy and Earth observation. The retrievable payload feature enables quick maintenance and significantly reduces mission costs, making these platforms ideal testing grounds for detectors, CubeSats, and technologies destined for orbital operation. Curious about the future of orbital stations? Delve into the fascinating world of China's space ambitions and discover what tomorrow's orbital stations might look like. Read our in-depth article, China's Heavenly Palace, Tiangong Space Station. universemagazine.com/en/China's Heavenly Palace, Tiangong Space Station, to explore how the station's 3 modules are already supporting groundbreaking research in protein crystallization, dark matter, and the testing of new robotic arms. About the author. Specializing in aerospace technologies, rocket engineering, and turbulent flow research. Our author holds a master's degree in aviation and rocket engineering from the Aerospace Institute of the National Aviation University of Ukraine. With over a decade of experience in science, numerous publications in esteemed journals, and a mission to make complex space technologies accessible to all, this expert continues to inspire discovery through insightful writings. Now it's your turn. Do you think stratospheric tourism will revolutionize the space travel industry? How important is the environmental aspect of space tourism to you? Share your thoughts on the future of space stations and their potential for scientific breakthroughs. Join the conversation in the comments below. America built it, Spain took it. EOS X Space acquires U.S. balloon tourism pioneer Space Perspective. In a striking development that has ignited a heated debate over technology ownership and national pride, the headline "America built it, but Spain took it" encapsulates the recent acquisition of Space Perspective by EOS X Space. This acquisition not only highlights the complexities of the global space industry, but also raises questions about the future of commercial space tourism. In a nutshell, EOS X Space has taken over the struggling U.S. company Space Perspective, aiming to enhance the commercial space tourism sector. This acquisition could serve as a crucial lifeline for Space Perspective, which has been grappling with financial challenges and operational halts earlier this year. EOS X Space intends to broaden its presence in the U.S. by establishing new facilities at NASA's Kennedy Space Center and in Silicon Valley. The partnership is focused on making space more accessible, with a strong emphasis on sustainability and affordability in space tourism. In a transformative step for the rapidly growing space tourism market, the Spanish aerospace company EOS X Space has acquired Space Perspective, a Florida-based firm that was once celebrated as a trailblazer in affordable space travel. Founded in 2018 by Jane Pointer and Tabor McCallum, Space Perspective aimed to transport tourists to the edge of space using innovative balloon-based capsules. However, despite its promising beginnings, the company has recently encountered significant financial hurdles. The acquisition by EOS X Space could provide the necessary support for both companies to redefine their positions in the dynamic space tourism landscape. EOS X Space acquires Space Perspective. Last year, Space Perspective was in the spotlight with ambitious plans to offer luxurious dining experiences in space. The company successfully conducted a flight test of its Spaceship Neptune test capsule, Excelsior, reaching an impressive altitude of 100,000 feet in September. Unfortunately, financial troubles soon emerged. By January, Space Perspective had to furlough a majority of its staff due to a lack of funding. And by April, it faced eviction from its Florida headquarters, effectively halting its operations. In light of these challenges, EOS X Space, a Madrid-based company founded in 2020, recognized an opportunity. This acquisition merges two former competitors, with EOS X Space stating that Space Perspective will maintain its operational independence under its current U.S. leadership. Kemal Karabachi, CEO of EOS X Space, described the acquisition as a historic opportunity to unite rival companies in the pursuit of advancing manned space tourism. New lease of life for balloon space tourism. The acquisition represents more than just a financial rescue for Space Perspective. EOS X Space has ambitious plans to significantly expand its operations, including the establishment of new facilities in the United States. The company aims to create a spaceport at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida and a research and development center in Silicon Valley, with plans to eventually move its global operational headquarters to the U.S. Karabachi emphasized that this acquisition is part of a long-term vision to create a scalable and ethical platform for space exploration. Both Space Perspective and EOS X Space are advocates for sustainable space tourism. Unlike competitors such as Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic, which rely on rockets and spaceplanes, balloon-based tourism presents a potentially more accessible and cost-effective option for those dreaming of space travel. Challenges and opportunities ahead. Initially, Space Perspective set a ticket price of $125,000 per seat, with hopes of reducing costs over time. This pricing strategy reflects the company's ambition to make space tourism more attainable. However, a report from Travel Weekly indicates that Space Perspective is currently reevaluating its entire customer journey and value proposition before resuming sales. This reassessment suggests a possible shift in marketing strategies aimed at attracting a wider audience. EOS X Space's involvement could breathe new life and resources into this vision. Although the two companies were once rivals, they now share a mutual goal of democratizing access to space. As they collaborate, they will need to navigate the complexities of merging their operations and aligning their strategic objectives while leveraging each other's strengths. The future of space tourism. The acquisition has sparked significant discussions regarding the future of space tourism, particularly concerning the role of balloon-based systems. As the industry matures, competition is expected to intensify, with various companies offering diverse experiences. The partnership between EOS X Space and Space Perspective could set a precedent for future collaborations in this field. Furthermore, the emphasis on sustainability and accessibility may resonate with a new generation of space enthusiasts. As technological advancements continue to unfold, the dream of space tourism is becoming increasingly achievable. This acquisition could expedite efforts to transform space travel into a mainstream reality, paving the way for innovative experiences that were once relegated to the realm of science fiction. The acquisition of Space Perspective by EOS X Space signifies a pivotal moment in the space tourism sector. As both companies work through the intricacies of merging their operations and redefining their offerings, the industry is watching closely. Will this partnership succeed in making the dream of accessible space travel a reality, or will the challenges prove too great? The future is filled with both promise and uncertainty, inviting us to contemplate the next leap in our journey to the stars. Space Perspective acquired. The future of balloon tourism. Imagine soaring through the stratosphere in a luxury balloon-borne capsule, taking in breathtaking views of the Earth's curve against the inky blackness of space. This is the promise of space tourism, and one company, Space Perspective, has been at the forefront of making this vision a reality. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite its innovative approach, Space Perspective has faced significant financial challenges, prompting a takeover by Spanish company EOS X Space. This acquisition has sparked debate about the future of space tourism and the role of private companies in shaping this emerging industry. As we delve into the details of this deal, you might wonder, what does this mean for the future of space travel? And will EOS X Space be able to turn Space Perspective's fortunes around? The story of Space Perspective is one of pioneering spirit and perseverance. Founded in Florida, the company has been developing a state-of-the-art capsule called Spaceship Neptune, designed to carry passengers on leisurely trips through the stratosphere for a cool $125,000 per seat. And this is the part most people miss. Despite the hefty price tag, Space Perspective has made significant progress, including a successful uncrewed test flight of its Excelsior capsule to an altitude of 100,000 feet in September 2024. However, the company's financial struggles have been well documented, with a significant furlough of its workforce in January and eviction from its facilities at a Florida airport just a few months later. The acquisition by EOS X Space can be seen as a lifeline, with the Spanish company committing to operate Space Perspective with full autonomy under U.S. leadership. But here's the thing. This deal is not just about saving a struggling company. It's about creating a new player in the space tourism market. EOS X Space, founded in 2020, has been working on its own balloon tourism system, and the acquisition of Space Perspective will allow it to expand its operations and influence in the U.S. The company plans to establish 2 key sites in the U.S., a spaceport at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and a research and development facility in California's Silicon Valley. Eventually, EOS X Space aims to move its global operational headquarters to the U.S., a move that could have significant implications for the industry. As EOS X Space founder and CEO Kemal Karbachi put it, this is a historic opportunity for 2 former rivals to join forces and make manned space tourism a reality. But what does this mean for the existing players in the space tourism market, such as SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic? Will EOS X Space be able to compete with these industry giants, or will it carve out its own niche in the market? These are the questions that will be on everyone's mind as this deal unfolds. And this is where you come in. We want to hear from you. Do you think the acquisition of Space Perspective by EOS X Space is a game changer for the space tourism industry? Or is it just a minor blip on the radar? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is certain. The future of space tourism is looking brighter than ever, and companies like EOS X Space are leading the charge. So buckle up and join the journey to the edge of space and beyond.